Most investors have no idea how much income their ETFs could actually generate or how fast it can grow. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on my real income forecast spreadsheet, showing exactly how much ULTY and QQQI could pay over the next few years, week by week and month by month. You might be surprised how powerful compounding really gets when you see it in the numbers. Welcome back to Simply Money. Whether you're investing for retirement or just looking to build consistent income, understanding your potential cash flow is key. In this video, I'll walk you through my Simply Money income forecast, the same spreadsheet I use to project my weekly and monthly ETF income. We'll break down how funds like ULTY and QQQI perform side by side, what realistic growth looks like, and how reinvestment can change your future income faster than you think. Let's go ahead and check out this sheet here. Some of you have seen this before. This tab here, where I actually just have a master sheet where you can put in the number of shares, whatever fund you're looking at, you can put that in here. And this is going to go down week by week. This is for weekly funds. You figure out how many shares you have, what the share price is the day you're starting to track this, what your starting dividend amount is. You can go with what the latest dividend was. What I typically do is I look at the trailing 12 months and I get the average, and that's what I use. That's just my method. You can use whatever you want. Some people use the current and then multiply that by however many payments there would be in the next 12 months and go from there. Again, everyone has their own preference how they want to calculate what future dividends will look like because we don't know, so we're speculating with that. Here you can put in your share price, the annual growth rate, how much you expect the actual shares to grow, and you can use negative numbers for something like ULTY where you've seen a NAV decline. You can put the negative number in there, as well as the dividend annual growth rate. You can put that in as a positive or negative percentage. If you think the percentage is going to remain the same, or if you think it's going to increase or decrease, you can put it in there. That is how this one works. What I've done and what we're going to do now is we're going to compare ULTY and QQQI on some new tabs that I've added. We're going to be looking at a couple extra steps that you can do to get a little bit more dynamic forecast with your dividends. You're going to put in the share amounts. This is my ULTY position currently as of the day of this recording. This is the starting share price. This is the latest dividend, and I went with the 9 cents because it's been pretty consistent from when they went weekly till here in mid-October. If you take it all and average it, it's been 9 cents. There's been a few 11, some 10, mostly 9. I think there was 1 8, but it's been very consistent. I put in the share price growth rate at negative 17 because since they've gone weekly in their dividends, this is actually the NAV has dropped 17%. I put that in as the growth rate, and the dividend annual growth rate has actually dropped from when it went weekly till now 12.6%. So negative 12.6% is what I put in there. The other elements that I've added here is you can do your initial drip percentage and then how many years you want that initial drip percentage to be. So if you want to do 100%, I'm going to do 3 years for me, and we can change this up. And then after 3 years, we want it to drop to 25%. So say I'm going to accumulate ULTY for 3 years. I'm just going to 100% drip, and at the end of 3 years, it'll kick down to 25%. We'll see that throughout this sheet and how that works. We can go, if you watch the chart, you can see even if I start out, look, we're going to go 50%, what we'll be at, and now we're dripping 50%, how many new shares we have and what our total value would be. So you can see your dividend payment dropped because you're accumulating fewer shares each time. You're not getting as much distribution. We're going to start it out at 100%. Our payment week 1, year 1, this first dividend was 9 cents. It's $378 for the week. As we look at this, you can see that our new shares starting on week 1 of year 1 is 70 or 69. By year 2, we're adding 174 new shares per week. And then year 3, we're adding 460 shares per week because we're dripping 100%. But as you see, starting year 4, we only add 318 because we've dropped down to 25%. Now, our distribution has gone up from $378 a week, $791 a week in year 2. Year 3, we're up to $1,700 a week. In year 4, we start out at $39, almost $4,000 per week. And this is when we would say we're going to go ahead and turn our drip off. And on this scenario, we're saying we're taking 25% and dripping it. Out of this, we're just going to round it up here for math. We're going to say $4,000. You're going to take $1,000 and drip it. So you're buying 318 more shares to help continue building this value and growing your dividend to overcome inflation and things of that nature. You might want to do that to help offset the NAV, whatever your reason might be. And out of that $4,000, we're going to take $3,000 for income. And you're looking at the end of 3 years, a $206,000 value from this initial $23,000 investment. This is a nice little chart to be able to play around with and show you. We could go here and just say we're going to drip for 1 year. And you can see that after 1 year, it drops down to where you're only adding 43 shares. You're getting $800. You're going to drip $200 of it and keep $600 as far as your weekly income. Again, you can do this however you want. Maybe you're younger and you're going to go 5 years. You have to come down in year 5, and you see it's still climbing up quite a bit year 6, and then it starts slowing down because you're drip. We're going to go back to the original 3 years, and maybe we're going to drip 50% at this point, and then we're going to see what happens. At 3 years, you're still increasing dramatically because you're still putting $2,000 a week into the drip. You're still getting quite a bit of growth. And if we want to come down here, we'll just say to 10 years. We'll go to the beginning of year 11. 10 years have gone past. Week 1 right here of year 11, with these rates, you're looking at $3.7 million. Again, we don't know what's going to happen with these in the future, but this is just a nice way to project and use your drip calculator here to figure out what kind of value you're going to be getting with various drip amounts. We can flip over here to our monthly. This is QQQI. This is my position here of 1,173 shares. Share price is $53.40. 64 cents was the latest dividend. We're going with what QQQI has done over the last year, and that's a 4.5% growth rate with a 3% growth rate on the dividend. Again, we're doing 100% drip for 3 years, and we're going to drop this one down to 10% after the 3 years. Now, this is a monthly payer, so you're not going to see that compounding work so fast, and that's why people like those weekly payers. We're going to be checking that out. Tell me what you think, too. There's a new bi-weekly ETF out there. Would you like to see that one where you get paid twice a week instead of weekly? You get paid twice a week. It's very new. I think it's only been out now as when I'm making this maybe 2 weeks. We can look at that. If that's something you'd be interested in, leave me a comment down below. We can check that one out. Here we are looking at the share price. Starting out, we're at about $62,000 in value. Let's go to the end of the 3-year period. Year 4 beginning right here, our value's up to $98,000. Now, instead of buying 21 more shares each month, we're down to only buying 2 more shares a month. But you can see we're still increasing value. We're getting an $1,171 dividend per month. Again, this isn't weekly. If we're reinvesting 10% of that, that's $117. You're buying a couple shares. The other $1,000 you're taking as income per month. Just with these two in my own portfolio, in 3 years, if I went with the 10% drip with QQQI and the 25% with ULTY, but took the rest, right there I'm looking at $13,000 per month because I'd have $3,000 per week from ULTY, $1,000 per month from QQQI. That's $14,000 a month to be able to do what I want to do with that. That's just off these 2 distributions and these 2 funds that I hold. This is the new spreadsheet showing how to do this dynamic percentage change. You can put anything from 1% up to 100% on both of these. Maybe you want to take income for a few years and then you're going to drip. Maybe you have a pension that's going to kick in or your Social Security. Maybe you want to live off this for now, and then you're going to actually go to a higher drip down the road. Again, everyone has different circumstances, so I'm trying to make these as dynamic as possible for you to hit every scenario you can have. What are your thoughts on this? Do you like this? Hit me up in the comments down below. If you want to see a couple other maybe columns or things I can add to this, feel free to share that with me. I appreciate that support that you guys are constantly giving me on this channel. I appreciate you joining us. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. If you want to support the channel, the best way you can do it is hit the like and subscribe button. And to leave a comment, just to say thumbs up, great job, or this is wacky. Whatever you comment, it helps the logarithm, and that helps our channel out to grow and get more videos out to other people. And that's the best thing I can ask for you to do to help support us. And I appreciate all the support. And we'll see you next time on Simply Money.